Hello, crypto miners. Welcome to another AMA here at our eminent space, crypto miners. And today we have Vara with us. I see you in here, Vara, I think. I'm going to invite you to talk. I hope you can hear me well. Can I have some thumbs up, guys? Alpha, can you hear me? Here we have some. Pavel. Let's see if Pavel can hear me.
Hello, everybody.
Now I hear someone. Hello, Pavel.
Hi, Marie. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Quite good.
Good. So we're excited to have you here, Pavel,
Thanks a lot.
Chief Growth Officer.
Yes, something like that.
You have to explain what that means. Because I want to, let's start with the presentation of yourself a little bit, who you are, when you started with crypto, and yeah, what is Chief Growth Officer?
Okay, my name is Pavel Salas. Yeah, I'm that interesting name, Chief Group Officer. How I started in crypto. I actually was working before in the companies more related to finance. And then I was working in one that called fintech company that's eToro, the social trading network. And then one of the owners, actually the owner and founder of eToro, the CEO, Yoni Asia, was a person that was really in love with cryptocurrencies and blockchain itself. And he was the person that introduced me into that space. Imagine that in 2015, eToro was the first OTC trading company that allowed to trade CFDs on Bitcoin. And practically the next year, they added Ethereum once they had the option to have that quotations and allow people to trade it. So Yoni was found with Bitcoin in early days, and he was actually trying. He loved the beauty of the whole concept, and he understood that Bitcoin is more than just a cryptocurrency that could be sent from one person to another. He started looking at that as a distributed ledger, so a distributed database that could storage more information. And then he decided to build something that's called the Color Coins protocol. And for that, he built a team, he sponsored that. And one of the people that were writing this protocol was Vitaly Buterin. And when he finalized the writing of the white paper of the Color Coin protocol, he said, look, I understand that what you want to do, it's possible, but it's really hard to do that on top of the Bitcoin. And I think that the best way to build this type of decentralized database is to build a new blockchain to work with that. And Yoni said that you're crazy, you want to build a new blockchain? Like Bitcoin is the best that you can have. So they had some queries about that, and Vitaly left to build his own protocol, and the rest is history. We know Ethereum is the second biggest protocol in the network by value, but by actually assets locked is the biggest one. And we have all this infrastructure. So Yoni was really fond about that. And we also, when Vitaly was in St. Petersburg Economic Forum, we had an option. We had a meeting with him. We were sitting there discussing different things, what happened with the team, what's happening there. And I really get in love with this idea. And the next thing that we were trying to do meanwhile I was working in eToro, is also to build this concept into the wallet so people could be trading different type of assets like euro against the dollar, like oil, gas, any asset that that's really tradable, but could have a settlement on top of the blockchain wallet. And that was actually the idea, to use that type of color coin protocol. And you can trade from your wallet and using all these things. And that time we need to understand that it was possible. Crypto, it was talking about 2016, the beginning of 2016, before the ICO boom. Crypto was non-regulated, practically called zero. The regulation was there. And what later on was called security assets, security tokens, were not even existing at that moment. So we were quite funny having these things before the regulators come and said it's impossible to do that, things like that. So after that, I left
Great.
yeah, when I left eToro, I actually went to a company called Tokenbox that wanted to do something that's called tokenization portfolios. So when you were able to trade and give your money to another trader to trade it on top of on different exchanges, but you would be guaranteed that actually he will not have the option to take these assets away just to trade with them. Something like token sets, but a more centralized way because we were aggregating different APIs from different exchanges and practically giving the best liquidity possible in the market at that moment. After that, I left and I have to consult several companies. And then the guys, the founders from Gear, they actually came to me and said, like, do you want to join us and help us building this protocol? We had several meetings. I got in love with that protocol because it was something new. And at that moment, I was quite skeptical already with crypto because a lot of projects were actually just copy paste of something that was already working. Few of them was trying to bring something new into the ecosystem. And that's why I actually get in love with Gear because what they decided to do is take something that works good in Web2 space and actually bring that into the Web3 space so that they can close the gap between what's happening in Web 2 and Web 3. Because till now, if you will see, practically everything that is trying to be built on chain, it's either really atomic, so the logic is really small as the computational power on the blockchain is small, or we're using still a lot of back-end solutions, trusted servers that actually are doing the computation and then putting the information inside of the blockchain. So what Gear is doing is allowing to really go far away from the smart contracts into smart programs. So you can really run programs on top of the blockchain. And that actually hooked me up, and that's why I'm here now.
Wow, great story, Pavel.
Thanks a
Nice.
lot.
You were there from the beginning almost.
No, not so. I have some friends that, well, they become friends a little bit later, but that was from the beginning there. And they did a lot of amazing stuff. Yeah, I have friends that were actually mining
Yeah.
Bitcoin on the laptop of their work, and then later on buying some houses after that raise up.
I hope I hope they saved some until now. Ah, good times. All right. So, and today we are going to talk about Vara, and well, I don't think everyone knows exactly what Vara is. So maybe we can have like a short introduction first, what it is, a little bit all over, and then go in more in depth if you want to.
Sure, let's do it like that. Vara is the first implementation of a group protocol. When our founder, CEO and founder Nikolai, actually he was one of the first developers of Parity, the technological team that stands behind the Polkadot protocol, Kusama, and all this stuff. They also built something that's called Substrate. It's a framework that allows you to build blockchains in a shorter period of time. Meaning, instead of doing it for a year, you can build actually blockchain in a month or even weeks, depending on how sophisticated you want to be. If you don't want to use all the pellets, then it will take more time. But if you will use all the pellets of that they're offering in Substrate, you can do it in some weeks. So, as he was one of the persons that was behind that idea, he was building the Substrate protocol. And then he thought that when he was leaving the company after finalizing this project, and the new task that we were offered was not really interesting for him, he decided to make the next step. If Substrate is a framework that allows you to build blockchains from scratch in a fast and easy way, then he wanted to do a platform that will allow people to build applications in a fast, easy, and smooth way. Because before that, even now, if you want to build something on Ethereum, you have to build additional SDK, you have to code and debug. All this stuff is quite complicated, not as people are used to do it in the Web2 world relating to coding. So he built this idea saying, okay, let's build an interface that would be easy to use and to deploy smart contracts in a plain and easy programming language. To do that, there should be done some specific things like we have to take away the problem of managing the memory of the contracts and all the stuff. So that has to be done on the back of the protocol. Then the communication stuff and all these things that were built together, that actually the three pillars on which the whole idea stands on of the Gear protocol. And then this Gear protocol could be easily deployed either as a standalone network, one blockchain solution, or it could become a parachain to Kusama or to Polkadot. So the first implementation of all these concepts and ideas, a platform that could be easily help people to build applications is actually Vara, and Vara is a standalone network L1 solution that would allow you exactly to build applications in less than 5 minutes with with a nice and user-friendly interface. I don't know if I managed to explain, or I did a little bit.
So yeah, so when you say user-friendly interface, what program do you use to build on? Is it like JavaScript or?
No, it's actually when
No.
now as we are using a WebAssembly virtual machine as a virtual machine. So the main language and the fastest language and the most secure language to build to write programs on it is Rust. But Wasm is compatible with around 10 and more languages. So for example, we will be mostly sure presenting the option of coding on TypeScript that is quite similar, or assembly script, sorry, that's quite similar to TypeScript, and a little bit of Java. That would be done mostly sure in a month. So people will be able to write that or smart contracts with that language also. And then we'll be willing, and we're thinking about some guys from the community could collaborate and build the compilator to C++. And then maybe also they're looking to do something with Python, but it's more complicated because Python is a little bit like less sophisticated language than Rust or C++. So more libraries that hook to put on top of that could actually a little bit speed, don't give that speed that could be achieved with any other language. But when we're talking about user-friendly interface, that means that obviously you can code in any platform that you want on VS Code, for example, as a lot of people are coding. But what we did is actually generate a lot of examples. And now we're actually even updating them more and more. And they could be easily seen if we go into varanetwork.io and then go in the section for developers. Then there will be like different sections that will say how you can deploy, when you can see the smart contract examples, and then obviously the way how you can deploy it. And you can write, as I said, on VS Code, or you can go into that example, go into the Git pod, because what we did is also make the Git pod available with all the needed libraries and information, so you can actually code in any browser. And then for make the deployment, you just go to an additional portal that we developed that's called IDEA. And then you can deploy the contract there. You can see the balance of your wallet. You can see the messages that's going back and forward between the contracts, what's happening with all the contracts that you deployed, what are running, which are not running, what's happening. All the information is there.
That's, I mean, when I look at your web page now under developers, it looks like you have, it's very easy to understand and lots of help for people who wants to start develop, right?
We're trying to do it like that. We always need to understand that it's always a thin balance between people that don't know how to start developing and people that are developers. And we try to maintain it so that both of them would understand quite easily and see it as an interesting resource. But obviously for developers, it's more our wiki and our GitHub and examples. And for new people, it's more the web page that's there. Also, we're building something that's called the Gear Academy. It would be launched soon. It's actually on the beta testing now with some more shapes. And that would actually allow people to learn how to code, not for people that don't know how to code. We're still thinking about that course. But for people that knows Rust a little bit, for example, knows C++, and want to go into the blockchain space and understand like how the smart contracts work, the whole logic idea behind Web3, this course is actually for them.
That's really good. I think education is the key. It's like very important because Well, many new people also wants to learn probably and are interested in this. So yeah, it looks very neat, your web page. I like it.
Thanks a lot.
Uh, let's go back to the start a little bit. How big is the team, and when did you start this project? I think maybe you mentioned that in the beginning in your presentation a little bit, but let's go over that again.
Sure. The project started in February. Like this February, we had 2 years party, so we're
Mm-hmm.
like 2 years old project. The team is around 43 persons now. It's mainly developers, both in the core team and the ecosystem part that actually makes smart contracts, tooling, integrations, things like that. We are really like a developers-oriented company. We're trying to build, let's say like that. We try to do something that is not really used now to be done in the Web3 space, but it's really used to do in Web2. We try to give nice service. So meaning when the developer comes and wants to build something on us, we want to give him support. We want to help him. We want to give him good documentation. We want to give him some educational materials. If it's needed, the support directly of some of our developers. Just because we want to make it smooth and easy for them. The previous times when,
Yeah.
let's say 2 years ago, if you wanted to do something on Ethereum, to find the documentation there was practically impossible. It was like, I don't want to say the bad word here, but it was quite complicated. And have to go for different forums, ask people, maybe somebody will ask you, things like that. There was no really support or in the, for example, the consensus for them to help you, to guide you. And we decided to do something different because we really want to bring more people into Web3, more passionate people, obviously, like before, but like with more, so that they can come and build more things that would be beautiful for them, and not just come say, "Wow, I don't know what's there. Okay, we'll think about later on," and then go to find another job and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the team is quite important. And do you know each other? Have you met in real life, the core team, or did you find each other only in the space or in, yeah.
We had quite a decentralized team. We have people in different regions from US to China.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we try to do twice a year a gathering, team gathering, in one place. Mainly, it's
Oh, that's nice.
for 2 weeks, where we actually see them work together, talk to each other, think about what else we need to do, processes and things like that.
Wow, I like that. Like brainstorming and helping each
Exactly,
other and getting to know each other.
exactly.
Like kickoffs.
Yeah,
Very good.
off-site meetings, like
Yeah.
say like that.
I've never heard any project say like that, I think, so far. And we had lots of projects coming through here, so
No, we're
very
trying
good.
to do that because still when you're remote and offline and you work and you collaborate, but nothing changes. But let's say nothing can replace the feeling when you're seeing everybody knowing face to face each other and talking, having
Agreed.
conversations, like a little bit getting more bond together. It gives better feeling of the
Mm-hmm.
project.
Yeah, very good. I like it. All right, so 2 years you have been around, and I mean, lots happened in 2 years in this space. 2 years is like 20 years. Uh, so so lots of new projects come up after you started, probably, or yeah, we know it has blockchains also. So how do you do to keep up with everything and like be on track or? Maybe my question is also who you are building for. What is your main uh, who are your main customers, you think?
Okay, our direct main customers would be actually developers that would like to
Mm-hmm.
build applications, more sophisticated applications that actually are possible now. Meaning, if we're talking about DEXs, that would be like DEXs 02, what we call, when you can have order books, delayed messages, you can have orders, delayed orders on top of the blockchain without having to live outside. So practically mimicking the whole idea of a sex into DEX. This is one of our priorities and ways how we're looking at that. Another thing, for example, if we're talking about complex things as NFTs, and then we can actually build them in a way where actually they could be interactive. So the interactive NFT is something interesting that gives you different options of work and creation depending of time and place. They send you a message, you can send the message back or send another NFT, and then it will evolve in different things. All this is like the next step of programs that could be built on top. If also we can talk about the real decentralized internet, where we can host your DNS on top of the blockchain, then you can actually, the router will route into the web pages if you buy the bigger domain, and then everything would be on top of the blockchain, and nobody can actually close on censorship these web pages or these applications.
Yeah, good answer. I mean, it could be an advantage, and it could also be a disadvantage if you don't keep up with the space. But it seems since you also meet in real life twice a year, I'm sure you have a good view of the future also, and what's coming, and to keep up with new stuff. And would you say that's an advantage then from other newer blockchains that's come on after you, that you already have a good team and you know your direction? You have maybe tried some and solved some errors that happened along the way
Yeah, I
and
think
stuff like that.
obviously our team is one of our biggest assets. We have guys that are really
Mm-hmm.
good now already, like especially in 2 years, they also grow a lot, and they now can deliver much better products. We also learn a lot of stuff because, as I said before, what Nikolai took something that works in Web 2 and bring it to the Web 3, things like an actor model and the persistent memory stuff that practically were not used in the Web 3 space. And then the combination of that gives something unique as the whole idea of the Vara network and the Git protocol, that actually everything inside the system starts working like microservices. So it's small programs that actually communicate with each other through messages and not just transactions as was before, and allows you to build sophisticated things because you can have delayed message transactions, things delayed in time. And these ideas together can allow you to build, as I said, the decentralized internet, for example, can allow you to build small programs on NFTs as programs, allow you to build, I don't know, like you name it, gamify stuff is really interesting because as we're talking about asynchronous messaging also, because we can we can do asynchronous messaging and we can compute in parallel the information, which actually speeds up a lot the process of computation and block producing. So when we're talking about gamified stuff, you don't need to wait till each person will make their own step and specific time to put everything in one block, to make the calculation and then put it into the blockchain. And just after that, the next person can make the next move in the same direction. Thanks to that synchronous thing, you can actually move at the way and your own pace, and then you will see the results of what's happening and what's going on into the space. So there is a lot of things that
Great.
we are trying to bring in, but as nobody did it before, we had to try and error. Sometimes we have one hypothesis, we do it, we understand that it's not working, we have to redo it once more in a different way, and then do it once more. So all this going back and forward sometimes takes time, but it gives nice results, at least what we're thinking about. This is the next step and the evolution of the blockchain on where it goes.
Yeah, cool. Good. I like that. So you're obviously then a little bit different than many other blockchains. At least you claim to be. So I don't know everyone out there. There's so many, but that's good. And how many, let's say, customers do you have that are building on your blockchain so far? How many dApps has been built or a contract has been created?
Okay, for now, as the network would be launched in June, July maximum, we are like discussing some legal stuff and exchange and all the things also like that. But that also has to do with the timing. But what we have is people that build some applications or integrations on top of our testnet. So there is practically everybody from the .SAM ecosystem, meaning that the whole concept is when we are launching, the developer should have all the tooling he needs. Oracle, storaging, NFT programs, so for example, have Remark for NFT, storaging, we have Trust, we have automation and supply chains, we have Automata. We have the guys from wallets, it's Nova Wallet, Sub Wallet, Polkadot.js, obviously. We have people from, what else we have? We have like 10 to 15 projects, integrations like that. Plus, we're having some other applications that are finalizing the building because of different hackathons that we were participating. So I think that when we will be launching, we will have about 12 projects that would be live. And then during the next 3 to 4 months, we'll have around like 50 projects that would be working on top of the blockchain in that moment.
Nice. So wait a minute. You said you will launch the network in July?
Yes, we're expecting.
So it's not out there yet.
It's not out yet. It's the test.
You have been building 2 years.
Yes,
Oh.
the test net is live.
I misunderstood then. Okay,
No.
cool. Good. So now if someone in here, and we do not give any financial advice, as you know, guys, do your own research. But if anyone wants to participate or buy your coin, because you have a coin,
No,
how
we
can
don't.
they do that?
As the network is not launched, so the token is not, there is no token yet, and
No.
it's not like.
But some seed sale or private sale ongoing, or?
No, we don't have
Okay.
any private sale or seed sale ongoing now. Due to some regulatory issues, we will not have that actually. The tokenomics should be published soon, but the whole idea would be that we will be giving airdrops to people so that they can use the network.
Say that again. You will give away coins to people to use it on your network?
We'll do airdrops to different types of people from the community and this is how they will be able to start using the network, and obviously we'll give grants and tokens to the projects that want to develop there.
Oh, okay. So if anyone in here is interested to get hold on some Vara token, what is it going to be called? The coin. I think it was something else.
No, it will be called Vara coin and
Vara coin, okay.
Or Vara token. To be honest, more token because it will be used for gas, and it will be a utility token, will be used for gas and for governance and for staking. And if they want to get that, like, we cannot really say how that would be done, but obviously, like, people can make their own research and understand to whom most issue will be giving airdrops and things like that.
And participate in the communities that you have on, like.
Obviously, like, you have, for participating in the community, you have different options, such as becoming our ambassador, for example. The program that we launched in the community was, or helping us in any way how you feel more comfortable. But main thing is the ambassador stuff.
Yeah. So where are you mainly then? Is it on Discord or Twitter or Telegram or all three?
We're actually on all three. We have Telegram, we have Discord, and we have Twitter. Actually, I think they have it Vara Twitter here now listening to us, so it's easy to join there. Also, we have obviously the Gear Twitter, but it's not now live here. I don't know why, but it's okay. But on our webpage, varanetwork.io, in the section of contacts, you can find all the different our social medias that we have. We have Medium, we have WeChat, we have like a lot of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'm sure many people will join, and make sure to follow Vara in here. I just did. Followed you too, Pavel.
Thanks
just
a lot.
in case. And let's move on. I was looking at your webpage. I see some hands up here too. People are wanting to ask some questions, but there was something I wanted to ask about that was a little special. Maybe you want to touch on that. And it was all these different. There's something called actor model and persistent memory. Could you tell us more about what that means?
Sure. These are the three main pillars that we're having in the protocol. It's actually the actor model, persistent memory, and WebAssembly as a virtual machine. So the actor model is the way how the programs communicate with each other. Meaning, if we are taking different blockchain solutions, how they work. The transactions goes directly to message pool, then from message pool, the broker user takes the transaction one by one and puts them into the block. And they're sharing the memory space and all this stuff. With us, and the attributes is different. They have the user and they have the program. For us in the blockchain, we're talking about the actor model. It doesn't matter if you're a user, if you're a program, if you're a bridge. Any instance that is inside the blockchain becomes an actor with the same attributes and possibilities. Meaning the user can send a message to program. A program can send the message to a user. A program can send a message to another program, and then the unique feature that we're having is that the program can easily send the message to a user because it has the same possibilities. And that also means that the user can generate a program and the program can generate another program. So when we are using that, we're practically having a messenger by design, and this is something that we're talking now with the guys from Subwallet and Nova Wallet, so that they can introduce inside the wallet the option of not just as we are having now for sending money to some account, but also to send messages to that account. Meaning you can send him a transaction, say hello or thanks a lot, or you can just say hello without sending any money to him, just paying for some amount for gas, and that's all. And then you will have a decentralized messenger inside the platform. And this actually, the same actor model is something that allows you to build this type of NFTs, programmable NFTs, that would be changed like a Tamagotchi, depending on what he's saying. Like, I'm hungry, and you send him another NFT with a hamburger or just a little bit of gas. And all this logic can really build something interesting. This is what's called regarding the actor model. And then the second thing is the persistent memory. It's something that goes a bit deeper into the protocol, and that allows a person to write easy code on top of the blockchain, because it's the way how we manage the memory of the programs, and we allow you to practically all the time the program is stay alive, and you don't have to call the whole baggage of the information from the memory storage, pay for gas, for that type of computation. We're practically maintaining the program, the first step, all this alive inside the memory. So when people are trying to call this program, it will execute fast. You don't have to pay too much money for that. And then when the first step is executed, it's actually taking the next step and the next step away. So all the time, the last step is alive. So the program is practically active all the time without going into the dormant state. And that actually saves a lot of money and time for execution. And allows you to do something more interesting. When we're talking about the developer, it allows you actually to write the plain code, meaning you need to handle two things: the message that you send to a program and the message that you receive from the program. The rest, domain-specific features of the blockchain and all this stuff, you don't need to know them. You just need to handle these two parameters, and that's all.
And that's what makes it, as you said, also maybe more easier and have a good interface for beginners also.
Exactly. That allows you to write code much easier and fast.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. And you can also become a validator, it says, but that's like when it started, I guess.
Obviously.
Not now.
It's when the network will launch, there will be an option to become a validator and be part of the proof. It will be built on proof of stake.
And what would you need then? What kind of items or, yeah?
It would be better to check that on the wiki, because I don't remember exactly which characteristic of the machine you need, but it's not so expensive and not so sophisticated as, for example, Solana needs.
That's good.
Why we're doing that?
Yeah.
Because also based on the architecture, we don't need you to have really sophisticated machines. What we need, especially when we're using parallelism or parallel computation, we are streaming different message queues into different cores of the machine that we're having. That means that actually the same machine that it becomes much productive. If you have 4 cores, that means that we can have 4 lines. It could be practically 4 times much faster than it would be using the same 4 cores for just producing one queue.
Okay, cool. All right, and when it starts, there will also maybe be staking, it says here, but maybe people need to catch up on that later on. And do you have a launch date already, or is it like
No,
vaguely July, as you said?
yeah, it's more about like that. When we'll have the date, we'll say
Mm.
that out loud.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's good. You shouldn't make promises you can't keep, right?
Exactly. We prefer all this to say that we did something rather than say, look, we'll be doing that, and then like, no, we didn't, or we'll do it later on. Like, we prefer all this
Yeah,
to
yeah,
market something that we really did, we proved, and it's working like a gear
yeah.
into the cloud.
And your blockchain is a L1 blockchain and standalone, but there is lots of talk about gear protocol. Can you
Yes,
explain why?
because the gear protocol is something that allows you to deploy this type of blockchain as a standalone. Like if you take the code and you deploy it, you will have a blockchain, either standalone as it's done with us now with Vara, or as it's built on Substrate and has the Cumulus library. If you add it, you can become a parachain to Polkadot or to Kusama.
Oh, so it's working the same way then, like
Yes,
Polkadot and Kusama.
yes.
Oh, okay. But it says also it's not a parachain.
Uh, Vara is not a parachain because Vara is a standalone network. But if we take
Yeah.
this, but it's built, let's say it's built from the Git protocol as a deployment. If we deploy the Git protocol and wants to connect this network, let's say Vara 1, like or Vara 1, and we connect it to the Polkadot, we can connect it and it becomes a parachain.
Okay, okay. Okay.
So actually,
Cool.
that could lead to have at least 3 networks that could be deployed using the same protocol. That could be, let's say, a standalone network, could be a parachain to Polkadot, it could be another network, could be a parachain to Kusama, and then you're having 3 different networks that are parachains to that, like that have the same properties, but are connected and have different utilities in certain moment.
Mm. So if I'm not a developer and I don't want to be a developer and I'm not a validator, how else can I benefit from Vara?
Okay, if we're talking about the utility of the network, then the best way that you can benefit obviously is when you start using the applications that would be living on Vara. If you're
Mm.
having Vara tokens, then you can actually stake them. Because we're talking about proof of stake from the first day the network is launched, you will be able to stake your tokens. And the third thing, if you want to help us and to work together with us more closely, then you can become an ambassador and you will receive obviously more education, advanced training, more one-on-one sessions with other guys so that you can really help us to spread the word about what Vara is, how it works, what we want to do. We do a lot of workshops in different universities all over the world because we want to give that education to the students and explain that Web3 can actually change the life of the people, that you can have a big, let's say, social elevator now because there is a lot of money that's still parked on Web3 and that you need to build, you need to work to actually take them this money because people are accepting developers, people are looking for project managers, people are looking for social media managers, content managers, moderators,
Mm.
and all this stuff, but they're looking for somebody that knows how that's done. And obviously, the best way how you can try practice project becoming an ambassador, helping, working close with the team, so later on you can do the next step.
Yeah. And how are you gonna get the word out there? I mean, having AMAs like this is obviously one step, but I mean, how will you become known to the public and maybe also to the non-crypto public?
Okay, there is different ways how we're doing it. First of all, one is actually the workshops with the universities and the students that we're doing. Now we will be signing, mostly sure, free, not integrate, free partnership agreements with them. So we'll be teaching part of the course of relating to crypto to them. Second thing that we're also doing is we're doing and participating in different conferences where actually Polkadot is participating because we're part of the ecosystem, so we're right near with them on that side. We're also doing hackathons both online and offline. Now we are having one in Mexico in June that actually will have more than 300 students hacking there, more than 30 universities involved in the whole hackathon that will be happening there. And what else? So just came actually from another hackathon that was in Kenya, and we have there around 60 people with whom we managed to talk and build something together and have a good time.
Great. So you're having events also in Africa then, because I know we have lots of people from Africa in the audience. We have from all over the world, but I know specifically we have some questions sometimes about if you're available also for Africa people.
Yes, we're available for them. We're also discussing with some academy, online academy in Nigeria that wants to form codes. We're actually discussing with two universities in Uganda that they asked us to make some partnership after the workshop that we did there. So all this stuff is moving on, and we're trying to keep it on track. The biggest problem sometimes that we don't have too much people to help us, and that's why the ambassador is one of the key features here that can help us to lead these ideas. Some of them actually on track, they're on the field because it's complicated, and we cannot be like 300 people, a corporation of 300 people. We're not yet there.
All right, great. So is there something else that you want us to go through before we maybe take some questions from the audience here?
To be honest, I don't think so. I don't know.
We covered a lot, but there's always more to say, I know. But let's hear some questions. Maybe we can move from there.
Sure.
All right, I will unmute some people. We have Enzo and Josh. Let's see if one of you comes up. Josh? Hi, Josh. Can you hear us? What is your question? Yes.
My
Yes, hello,
question
we can hear
is,
you.
okay, my question is, marketing is central element for every project. So that everyone knows the potential that a project can bring is vital to achieve this good sale. What is the 2023 strategy to attract new user and investor to your project and keep them long term?
Okay, if I understand your question was how we're planning to attract users into the platform, I think I just answered that before to Mary when she was asking like how we want to promote ourselves.
Yes. So please answer. You have to listen first and then ask a question. All right. So let's move on to Josh. Josh, what is your question, Josh? You
Yeah.
have to unmute
Hello.
yourself. Hello?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. So my question is about your grants, first your grants and your developers course. So I want to know what the grant is about. Who are the members that have access to the grants? What is the eligibilities for the grants? And so regarding the developers course, I want to know if it's totally free for developers, and is there all developers course like regarding developing, like app developing, JavaScript, is it all encompassed in the developers course?
Okay. First of all, regarding the developers course, it's for now we need to understand we're also building it step by step. For now, it would be a course that will teach you how to build smart contracts on Rust. It will be specific to some idea that if if you don't know Rust, you will have to learn at least the basic things. Like, you don't need to be an expert in Rust, but you need to learn the basic stuff. We'll recommend for now to actually read the Rust book and the educational stuff. It will be shown what you will need to read before. Later on, we're expecting to do an introductory course of what blockchain is, because we understood that sometimes people don't understand that. For example, people wants to make, we have in Kenya one of the expressions that some guys wanted to build a supply chain on top of the Polkadot. That's actually impossible. The Polkadot is a relay chain. You can build on top of the parachain, but not on top of the relay chain, but it's okay. Things like that, so people can understand what actually blockchain is, the differences, how they works, and then the next course that also we're thinking to do, we're also discussing ways how we can maybe partner with other academies and put their courses there so that they can learn, is, for example, some basic Rust courses. And later on, when we'll have assembly script, how to write an assembly script of things. All this is totally free for any person that wants to do it, because we think that education is the most important stuff, and we try to do it the best as we can so that people can have the knowledge about what they're doing. Even if they will not be coding later on year, okay, it doesn't matter, but we still are bringing new flesh blood into the ecosystem that can actually lift up us together, because more new projects, more new ideas, interesting ideas could actually bring the whole ecosystem to the next level. And this is the idea. Regarding the grants. Yeah, remember, regarding the grants. The grants program is not open yet. It would be open mostly sure near the launch of the network, because the grants would be given in tokens and we don't have tokens to give now. So mostly sure one of the requisites actually for receiving a grant also would be passing the academy, so that we can understand that you can really code what you want and on us, things like that.
Yeah, thank you for the response. I think it's actually a great idea. It's really a great idea. So I want to know, like, how long will it take for one to be able to complete the developer's course of, like, how long will it take?
It will depend a lot on the dedication of time that you want to put it on that. But we are planning that if you will not put too much time, that should be maximum a month. If you are putting much more time on that and trying to take at least several hours a day, then it could be done in 2 weeks.
Well, I think that's really great. So so thank you for the response, and thank you, Mary, for the opportunity to ask my question. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. All right, I have Mooner up here. Mooner.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Hello.
Yeah, my question is just about the how easily accessible your platform is. So have you designed it user accessible for even newbies and newly entering crypto users also?
Sorry, I didn't get exactly the question. Can you please repeat it?
How
Yeah,
accessible is the platform, you asked, if it's for newbies as well? And I think we already touched on that too, Mooner. We talked about the interface, which was is very user friendly. But Pavel, if you want to say some more words about it, go ahead.
I think actually, yes, we already touched everything like that. It's more for developers. It's not for end users for now. Like the end users will be using the applications that will be developed on top of Vara. So for the end users, you will just have the option of staking. And that actually is, that's all.
Yeah. Did you have
thank
another
you.
question,
Thanks for
Mooner?
answering. Yeah, I just need to ask about the Explorer. So when we can see it, do you have any model for and tutorials to use your Explorer?
Yes, we have an Explorer. That's actually, we have the one that's built by us. We also have now integration with Subscan, and they will be issuing their own Explorer for that.
Thank you. That's interesting. Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
welcome.
I'm trying to connect Julian, but now I lost him, I think. Let's see if Elon Musk, is that you? I don't think so, but let's see which Elon we have here. Sometimes it's difficult to connect, so
let's see, but he's asking a lot to be connected.
Good day.
Now he's connected.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Hi, Elon.
Good
Yes.
day. Thank you, Mary. So I went to your website and I read that users can support Vara Network by applying to become nominators. So what are the steps and procedures to become nominators on Vara Network? What other interesting ways can users contribute to the growth and development of Vara Network? Thank you.
Okay, to become a nominator, that actually means that you want to stake the tokens. So first of all, you need to have some tokens. Second, you will have there will be a separate panel where it will say different validators that actually validate in the network. Then you will have to choose the validators that you would like to support, and then you will just have to like press a button saying, okay, not press a button, sign the transaction that you want to delegate this amount of stake to different validators, and then you will be receiving the revenues from what they would be doing on top of the network for securing the network.
Okay. Thank you for the wonderful precise answer. I also wanted to know, I read you made a mention of Vara Network being a platform whereby developers can develop and deploy decentralized applications. So what are the costs to deploy these decentralized apps on your blockchain? Also, in what ways do you generate revenue by developers deploying on this your blockchain? Thank you.
Okay, the cost of deploying an application will depend a lot on the application. Like, it's really complicated to say how much it will cost because it depends a lot on the logic that you will have behind. Because practically what you're paying is gas. What is gas? The gas is the pay that you are giving for the block producer for their computational power. So if it's, I don't know, a contract that it's just a basic NFT, it's one cost. If it's a more sophisticated program as an NFT, it's another cost. If you want to build a decentralized exchange with all the features that has a centralized exchange, it will be another cost. So it's complicated to say like that. The second thing that you said was regarding the developers, the gas. I don't remember. If you have any other questions, please just remember it to me.
Yeah, I was actually saying the requirement to start building smart contracts and also how do you generate revenue by developers deploying on your blockchain?
Okay, obviously we generate the revenue by two things. First of all, the main one is the transaction fee that we'll have. The second, this is the revenue that the network generates. Obviously, also the foundation has some funds and tokens that were reserved from the beginning for keep on developing the protocol, some marketing activities and things like that. So when that will be live, they'll have some tokens that can also be stakeable. And in this moment, also could be generating some revenues from staking in order not to just get without funds. And how the developers will receive revenues from deploying on us, it's already like built. The developers that are deploying their applications should be thinking about their monetization, let's say, options, because this is something that actually should be built inside of their application if they want to do it, unless they want to do something that's called common good program, and then that could be funded by us as a grant program.
Okay. Thank you very much for these wonderful precise answers. I wish you the best. Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
Elon.
a lot.
All right. So what I wanted to ask about, if you give back to the holders of your coin, how are you gonna well, keep them, so to speak. There's
I didn't understand the
staking.
question.
You said,
Yeah,
yeah, there's
obviously.
staking, but is there something else? Are the holders gonna get some part of the revenue that will come later on, or is
The revenue actually is coming, like you cannot receive revenue from the network because then it becomes security token because you're actually sending like shares of the company, and we're having just an utility token that actually using for gas. But the people that have these tokens, they can be part of the governance, so they can decide what actually is happening later on with the network. They can also have the option of staking, obviously. And actually, the staking is the mechanism that generates the most amount of revenue there rather than something else.
okay?
Well, if we're talking about the token price and all this stuff, but like this is another thing. But if we take this thing out of the equation, the staking is generating a nice revenue. It will be generating around 16% a year.
Yeah, all right. And I also wondered how, since you haven't launched yet and you haven't done any pre-sales, how did you fund the project? Because with so many people working on it and doing stuff, developers, how do you fund it?
There was a closed round in the beginning. There was like a friendly round, and then there was another round that actually was published in CoinDesk. That was November last year, not 2 years ago practically. That actually happened. And after that, we had a small one to the foundation to launch the foundation. And now we're waiting actually to the launch of the network in order to have also some funds, additional funds. Yeah, because there will not be too much in token supply, so we'll sell a little bit on the mostly sure. It's still on discussion, but maybe we can sell something in the first days so that we'll have some liquidity. The people have some liquidity, and we have some cash for that.
Okay, cool. And there will be like a launch or a pre-sale then closer to launch, or we don't know that yet.
Mostly sure now.
Okay.
Because of some regulatory issues and stuff like that, we will not make any pre-sale, any close sale, nothing.
Okay.
We'll just get listed, and then that could be actually easily sellable into different exchanges.
Is Vara token a company or network a company? Are you registered somewhere?
Now, Vara is a network, and it's not registered. It's just a network. The Gear Foundation is a company, is a foundation company, and then it's registered. Yes.
Where is it registered?
The Gear Foundation is registered on the Cayman Islands.
Okay, good. Cool. Yeah, it has been almost an hour already. Time flies when you have so interesting projects coming on. I thank you so much, Paul, for coming, and I would give you the floor for, yeah, some extra maybe information or closing statement, and tell us, yeah, what you want for a few minutes.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everybody, for listening to me for an hour practically. Hope you had at least some fun. All the information was at least useful. Otherwise, it's like an hour that nobody can give you back from your life. So, what else I can say? I would just suggest you, if you like Web3, if you like the idea of tokenization of crypto, blockchain, now just start reading, learning more about that. It has a lot of opportunities, and but nobody will be running behind you and saying, please learn about that, please check that. It will have a lot of responsibility that you will have to put on top of your own education. So if you're ready, find the best resources. The more that you like it, we are having some of them. You can find other ones that can do the same. And if you want to learn about us, just go to varanetwork.io. You can have a lot of information there. Join our Twitter. That actually will help you to find the events and meetups that we're doing all over the world. Maybe some of them are near you. You can just write us and be part of that event. Come and have some fun with us together. Discuss ideas, questions, anything that you want. We're really open for that.
Great. Yeah, we just stole an hour from your life, guys. What did you say, Paula? I like that. I was laughing. That was so funny. Yeah, I hope you guys had fun with us here now at Crypto Miners 1 hour with me and Pavel. It was a pleasure for me anyway to have you on here, Pavel. And I want to know what's your favorite topping on your pizza is, if you eat pizza.
Wow, good idea. I would say pepperoni and cheese.
Pepperoni.
I like cheese.
Okay. Do you ever eat pineapple on pizza?
Sometimes yes.
Okay, cool. Where are you in the world, if I may ask?
Now I am in Turkey.
Okay, cool. Merhaba.
And yeah, thanks a lot. And by the way, regarding to the things I said, that we're having one offline hackathon that will be running in Mexico. We also will have, mostly sure, soon a hackathon, online hackathon for any developer that wants to join, that will be running online. So it will not, the geographical location will not be a problem for you. So if you have the guts and the will to join, just be tuned on other networks, and you will learn how to do part of that.
Great. I've never taken part in a hackathon. I think maybe I wouldn't really know how to do it, but I'm sure many in here wants to take part. So what can you win? Okay, can you win something? What is the
Yeah,
benefit for it?
obviously there will be a short description of what you will be winning, but there's monetary prizes. We're trying to do it with some sponsorship from other projects, so it will be bounties from different projects. We're also trying to do things like some venture funds that could put some additional money for the winners and make some demo days, and maybe you can find the funding for your project. But one of the most important things is in the hackathon, people can participate, not just developers. A project needs several things to actually build it good. So you need people that will be building that. You need a project manager that will generate the whole idea and manage what's happening there. You need a person that can actually present it and help with the marketing part of that, the presentation and all the stuff. So a designer that could design both the interfaces and things like that. So all this is required, and if you have at least one of that qualities, you can actually just subscribe. And if you don't have a team, maybe we can find you a team, or if not, we'll see how we can help you in building that also.
Great. Thank you so much, Pavel. And yeah, I hope to see you back on maybe closer to launch. That would be amazing to have you back and hear about the development and what's going on.
Sure. When
back,
we'll be close to launch, if you will invite us, we'll come for sure.
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for coming, joining in. Yeah, I'll guess I'll see you next time, whenever that will be. I thought we had one later this afternoon, but now I'm not sure anymore. Let's check with Alpha. And did the person in Vara main account want to say something maybe? I forgot to ask. Sorry.
No, I don't think. Don't worry. They're just listening, so that actually like somebody want to tag, and they can just find the Twitter fast and easy. Yeah, they don't not have to go anywhere else.
Yeah, very, very good. Thank you so much for coming, and I wish the best of luck with the project.
Thanks a lot.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye, everybody.